Good morning, human geography students. I am Mrs. Lamar, and I know I did not make a video like this last week, and I apologize. I am new to getting back into teaching, and everything is very overwhelming trying to learn everything. So for today, I am going to walk you through how to make sure that you're on track from last week and for this week. And then we did discover last Friday at Woodbury High School with a couple of students that you do not yet have access or a course code to access the e-text. So I'm going to work on that today. And in the interim, I have scanned some of the textbook pages and made a link for that. So to get started, when you get into Schoology, hopefully I figure out how to post this video afterwards. But once you get in, if you have finished the online school orientation information, whichever courses you had online was in here, and every single online teacher had this in there. So it might be confusing, like how do I submit it for all of the classes? And you don't need to worry about that. If you completed it, you're done, and the admin will take care of marking that off. For this class, every day that you're going to spend time in this course, which technically you might not come into this course every single day. You might one night sit and want to try to get done as much as you possibly can, and that's up to you. It is recommended that you spend 5 hours a week on the course, and this course is new to me as well, and no one has done this course on the online, so we're kind of doing in this together. So getting started, I'm going to go into the current folder. And for last week, you would have done the course introduction. And the first part was all about me. So just a way for you to get know a little about me, and for me more to get to know you. And there's nothing that you need to submit outside of just submitting the form. So when you go into this one, you're going to open up a link that's a form and you submit it. And at the bottom, you just put submit, and I will manually go in there and do that. So you don't have to submit anything separate. Then there was the crash course geography preview. So going into that, there was a why study geography, and then why study geography discussion. And for the discussion question, we typically would have to go in after other students have answered it and then reply to them, and then make sure that you are also looking at the grading rubric. I am going to try to figure out how to embed a grading rubric into the actual grading, but right now this is what I'm using. And so I have not graded all of them or any of them yet, but you would to reply once you have done this. We're not for this one, but in the future, if I have a discussion, once you have seen other people do that, you're gonna, in order to get the full score, you would then have to reply to others. And so to post one, I think you would actually just click on this to make a comment. I'm doing it from the teacher view, so I'm not exactly sure. And so if you play around with it, it should work. Getting into this week's module, Module 1, I'm going to go back to the current folder. Module 1, I have today's assignment, the mapping review. I also have a preview to the vocabulary, and you'll have to read what to do on there. It is a GIM kit, which I'm not exactly sure what that is, but you'll be playing a game, but when I played it, there was no end to the game, and I played it for a long time. If somebody reaches an end of the game, send me a message, I'd like to know. But I just kept playing it, and then I played it until I didn't miss any. I also, if you have time and there's nothing to submit for this, I did scan the first 15 pages of the textbook. So if you kind of want to review or skim through this before we get into it, and then I also put a scanned copy of the vocab for the first unit. The other things you will not be able to see on your end yet because I'm still kind of working on those. So for the mapping review, if you go into this, so it says geography basics, the least you should know. So I just want you to review what you should have done for 8th grade geography, which was more mapping based, but just to know where the locations of things are. And this should be, for the most part, a review. So I want you to label the map, and you have two options to label the map. You can do one using Cami, or you can open up the assignment, print it off, label it the old-fashioned way, and then take a screenshot or a picture with your Chromebook. And if you're not sure how to do that, you can actually go into Google and say, how do I take a picture with my Chromebook? And it'll tell you how to do it. Otherwise, I think that you could just open it up in Cami. And then you're going to have to go down here. And so it says shade each using the colors below. So if I'm going to shade Latin America, I go to my map. I'm going to want to, you might have to play around with it a little bit. I think I'm going to do the markup and a shade of red. We'll see how this works. And Latin America, why isn't it letting me do it? Freehand. I'm going to try that. And so Latin America, I'm going to go through, kind of shade it. You might want to maybe make your tip a little bit finer, but that's kind of a quick how-to. And you might be better at using Cami than me. If I want to label something, I could put a text box, type in Canada, and then be done. And then when you're done, I think that on your end, it should be a way to submit it or share it. I'm not exactly sure what it looks like on your end. If for those of you that are struggling with this, I will be in the buildings on Wednesday, and I'll share that out for the times. So that's one option. Or you can simply open up the assignment. You can print it off and label it with your hand. So those are the options for that. And then I think when you go back into Schoology, there should be something where you can submit, like it clicks submit, and then you might have to upload it, find it on your Chromebook. I've been out of the classroom for 3 years, so some of this is new to me and I need to refresh my memory. If you are new to using Schoology and you're in one of the high schools, please ask anybody, they will help you. Otherwise, I will be there on Wednesday. And so that's for this week. And then once I get through today, I will be posting some more assignments. And again, you can work at them in any order you want. There is a suggested due date, but there's flexibility with the online school. And then as far as attendance goes, if you have interacted with me or Schoology or submitted anything anytime between last week and this week, then that counts that you are present for the week. So I will be doing attendance tomorrow at around noon, I think. And so if I see that you've submitted anything, you've sent me a message, or I've actually met with you, then your attendance will count for the entire week. And so that's how that will go. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to either send me an email or a Schoology message. I'll be working with it all day. And whatever you do not stress about not being able to figure something out. We can have not a Zoom meeting, but a Teams meeting, and we can share each other's screen and we can work through it together. Again, otherwise I will be in all the high schools on Wednesday. So I look forward to, if you're in the high schools, try to come find me, but I look forward to working this trimester and we will get this done together. All right. I look forward to also reading through your All About You stuff. I started to over the weekend with some time that I had as downtime, but I didn't have a lot. But have a great week, everyone. Bye.